All right, this is the third time lucky. Let's hope it goes well. So in this video, we're going to be going through why e-commerce brands are failing in this current market. So as I'm sure you're aware, ad prices are going through the roof. You're trying to outbid your competitors, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to convert. With over 1,000 new Shopifys launching each day, your competition has been no other. So obviously you're spending money to acquire people on your site, and if these visitors don't buy immediately, they're going to vanish forever unless you have these things set up, what we're going to go through in this video. So let's stop burning your cash and setting yourself up for failure and put proper plans in place for this. This is me on the right. I did have a little bit longer hair, but we've had a haircut now, so things are different. So I'm Ryan, and I've been working in e-commerce for 7 years and been working at Myriad Marketing as the founder for 2 years, helping brands with their email marketing. If you're looking for someone to represent you, especially with Q4, Black Friday, and Christmas coming up, use the link below and book yourself a free audit. What has changed? So brand extinction. E-commerce stores are being wiped out because people know what dropshipping stores look like now. They don't want these long lead times. They don't want to be buying a product from China, so they think they want to be buying authentic like products that come from brands that have got good marketing, the use of UGC content and real life images. This is the way to separate yourself from people that are using the stock images from these dropshipping stores, etc. However, with AI, it's becoming easier and easier to replicate these images and make them look real. So again, you're fighting copycat stores, products flooding the market, and duplicates. So you really need to stand out against these people. Without getting political, we're also going through times where people have got less disposable cash. So it's getting harder and harder to get people's purchases across the line. So having these things in place is definitely going to help us with that. Here we are just reiterating the points across. I will just add, this document will be below in the description. So if there's stuff in here which doesn't make sense, or you want to read through things, feel free to check the link below. So one of the solutions we offer as an agency handling your email marketing is the fact you're going to own your audience. So you've paid all the money to get them onto your site. It's now time to nurture them and educate them on your product. So this way we're going to maximize every single person that comes onto your site. So them starting as cold traffic and warming them up to eventually purchasing. Starting from scratch, we're going to need to build a ultra high converting pop-up. So we're going to throw a couple up on the screen right now. So I did just want to take the time and show you one of our pop-up forms. I've also done a video on this, so I'll link it below if you want to create something like this for yourself. So this pop-up, it doesn't come up straight away. It does give them a little bit of time to have a look along the site. You can test the times and see what results you get better. So people, when they first come on your site, typically they might not be invested. So they're not going to fill a form out if they're not invested in your product. So it is best sometimes to leave them a little bit of delay so they can have a look around and see if what they're looking at is something which is going to work for them. So here we have a little mini quiz. I won't go into too much detail because I have already done a video on this, but it's just going to be simple as, so just click just me. It's a simple pattern interrupt because people just are expecting the first name, email. It's a nice little change, so it does make them feel a little bit more involved and have a customized experience. So here we just have first name, email, and then you're going to get the code sent to your email. Because we have good deliverability, we do just have a copy and paste code here. So they're going to be more likely to purchase rather than going off the app onto their emails and back in. It is a little bit of an issue, but if your deliverability is poor, don't do this. And then we do have the 15% in the bottom left corner. So if they do close it down, they can reopen it and get their 15% instantly. These pop-ups are the first thing people are going to see when coming on your store. So this is going to give them a time to enter their email address and any other information that you can target them with, whether that be birthdays, first names, etc. So once they enter this, they're going to be entered into the welcome flow, which usually on your pop-up, you're going to offer a discount, say 10% off, for example. This is where we turn the cold traffic into own traffic. As mentioned, you're going to be paying for these eyes, and if they just vanish and they don't purchase, you've then lost them forever. So that money you've spent acquiring them is just gone down the drain and you're just effectively burning it. So this is a way to catch money that's slipping through the drains. So in your emails, it's not just about selling, as I'm sure a lot of you think email is just about sales, sales, sales. This gives you a chance to actually explain and showcase your product. So that could be case studies, reviews, education. Education is such a big one because people could be seeing these products. Let's say, for example, you have a skincare supplement and on the website, they're not fully sold on things. You're like, yeah, but there's so many of these about. With you including images, case studies, what they're going to expect so that you could break it down in a 3-month thing. So let's say after 30 days, you're going to start seeing less inflammation. 60 days, you're going to start seeing your skin clear up. 90 days, you're going to have clear skin. Obviously, I know these things aren't real, so this is just an example. And if you're looking for something personalized for your brand, obviously check the link below and we can give you a free audit and plan for what would do for your brand. So now you've got obviously the educational side of things. This is a way to battle the fact that there's so many other products out there. This is the way to stand out and get them across the finish line. The welcome flow is the first thing people are going to see about your website. So when the pop-up comes up, they enter their email, maybe they don't purchase, they're going to start looking into your brand and seeing what comes across. So if you're putting zero effort in there, this is the results they're going to expect from your product. Without these things in place, you can pretty much say goodbye to your audience, because all you're going to be doing is getting unsubscribes. It's going to be hurting your deliverability, and your email marketing is just going to go down the drain. So these things are going to help you plug your leak on your welcome flow. Number one, turning off your double opt-in. So what this does is when they first enter their email, they're going to then be sent another email confirming that they want to see marketing details of you. The fact they've filled that information in and they've confirmed that they're happy for you to send emails, that is good enough. So we don't need to have double opt-in on. So you can turn this off in Klaviyo settings. You want your welcome series message to fire out immediately, because if they've got the intent of buying, obviously your welcome flow is going to include the discount code. So if this is firing out like an hour, 2 hours later, you could potentially be fighting against their emotions. So they could be coming down, oh, I don't know if I want this. And then this is when they start questioning themselves. Having your welcome flow at a minimum 3 emails, I'd even say that's pretty light. It's good to keep following up with them and educating them. So whether you stretch your email flow over a week and a half, it's a good time to educate them on your brand. So your first email is just an introduction, discount, etc. And then you can follow up with some filler emails on education and stuff like that. Towards the end, you can then hit them with urgency and saying this discount code runs out. We'll go through that in detail later on in the video. On your first email of the welcome flow, you want to clearly highlight the value and make sure they get it on the first scroll, because people don't really tend to read their emails at super depth. So as long as when they first open their phone, they see it on their screen, the instant value, they're going to be more likely to read your content and interact with what's on there. Again, as mentioned, we want some form of urgency. So as you work through the flow, you want to start mentioning that the discount code is only valid for X amount of time. As mentioned before, 3 is the bare minimum. However, it does depend on what your product actually is. So if you've got a product which is an impulse buy, so it's something that people just act upon emotion, it's something cheap, they don't really need much thought to purchase it, you can definitely get away with the 3 to 4 emails, because the more you send it, it does get a bit spammy if you're sending the same sort of content. However, with the higher ticket items, let's say you're buying a new desk, $300-400. This could need a little bit of education, because they're going to be shopping around for things. They're going to be looking at different desks. For me, for example, I just bought a stand-up desk. I was comparing the motors, seeing the reviews, and it did take me a couple of days to think upon things, although I didn't sign up to their email marketing. So with the higher ticket items, you can be sending 6 to 8 emails, because you have the time to educate them. So you'd be going on reviews, you can have one on social proof of it in action, benefits, why they should buy yours, and what separates yours from the market. On these higher ticket purchases, people do need time to think about their purchase, because again, mentioned, people don't have the disposable income. So these higher purchases have become more of a challenge. And if your item doesn't fall in those 2 just mentioned, and you have something that's a problem solver, like I mentioned before, the supplement is definitely a problem solver, as it could be battling, fatigue, tiredness, and skincare. So this is definitely something that you can educate them more into. So here is kind of how we'd structure things. So you'd have your welcome email, so that would be welcome to the brand, then your filler emails, and then towards the end, we would start going down the route of urgency. So chasing the last chance and support outreach. So there's personal touch in the founder. You could be like, if you have a clothing brand, for example, we work with an owner who's quite in with her audience. We do like a little Friday message and stuff like that to obviously show a little bit of a personal touch, which these bigger brands aren't doing. So your first email on the welcome flow, you want your hero section to be nice, bold, include a CTA and your discount code. So as mentioned before, you don't want it to go past the first fold. Everything should be visible as soon as they see it on their mobile phones. So when you're doing your emails, make sure you're checking both desktop and mobile phone to make sure they look good and compete to this. So the bridge section, this is a short little summary of your brand. So let's say, for example, you're really into producing your stuff ethically. So let's say you produce in England, for example, you could mention that, a little bit about your brand and where it started. Don't need to go into too much depth on this one. Again, you want to be showing a little bit of your products on there. So if just below the information, you could start showcasing some of your best sellers. Keep it super minimal, super clean, and easy to navigate. You want to be driving as many clicks as you can through on this first email. In case your first email doesn't land and they don't click through or they don't purchase, this is where the filler emails come in. So as mentioned before, I've mentioned it a few times in this video, this is the time where you can educate them and nurture them across the line to the purchase. So here we can provide value, give some customers education and reassurance on why they need to purchase. People do have busy lives, obviously having kids and stuff like that. They might just sign up to your welcome flow and then get distracted and end up going doing something else. So this is a good way to keep following up with them, and then you could land at a time when they have some spare time, jump on the link and end up purchasing. So the more follow-ups you are sending, obviously the more you're staying in your buyer's mind and the chance that you're going to get the purchase from them. Here's a few things I've put together for your filler content ideas. So obviously you can download this link below and you can implement this in your brand as well. So deep dives, that's focusing on that one product or ingredient breakdown. FAQ response, so obviously any common customer like requests people get from your emails and stuff like that. How it's made, so as mentioned before, if you're really focusing on the ethical side of things, you can go through like your factories and your process behind it to make sure you're getting the highest quality product. Then social proofs, this is like testimonials, reviews, customer transformations, whether it be, like mentioned, skincare. And these last two, so research proof, so if you've got any studies that validate your product, so whether it be like zinc has some beneficial things for your skin. Personal touch, again, we do, for our fashion brands, especially the smaller ones, we do run these founders emails on Fridays or once every month, just so it has that little touch from your brand. These ones we just do as text-based, so it's a nice little pattern interrupt, so you don't need to go into super detail with all these designs, because people do sometimes open these and they all do kind of look the same. So having that pattern interrupt of just a text-based email is great in this market. With the way the world's going now, with everyone shopping online and using your online stores, they do have hidden objections. So again, mentioned here, we say, will it actually fit me? So with them not seeing it and trying it on themselves, they don't actually know how it's going to fit. Or another one is, how long will shipping take? So these are things that you can be including in your email. You can be showing the fit. So if it's like a nice snug fit, you can be showing that. Or if it's a relaxed fit, you can show that also. Making sure to be giving transparent explanations. So you don't want to be saying no bullshit on the fact of, oh yeah, this does this and it's going to get you this results, because all it's going to do is just bring negative stuff around your brand and it's going to affect you negatively, if anything. Showing your product solutions, actually show it in action and showing the befores and afters with things. How we are different. So email is going to separate you from your competition. So it's going to highlight what you're unique at. All these things in here is what, as I mentioned before, is going to separate you from all these quick stores that are just trying to make a quick buck, and they are going to put you in front of more people. So email really gives you the chance to highlight why people should select your brand. Since most shoppers are, they're going to be comparing your brand to other people, and they're going to be seeing if they can get the best price, or if paying a little bit more is going to give them better results. So it's really good to highlight the materials you're using if you're using better stuff than other competitors, so you can do this as a comparison. Make sure that your brand has strong values, so you're mission driven and you're on a purpose. Strong values of the brand. So if you are a brand that's fighting for ethically produced products, make sure you're highlighting this. Everyone knows that people are exploiting China for cheap products. So if you're doing something that's in America or UK, make sure you're highlighting the fact that this is one of your selling points. You've got a proven track record, so your product actually gets results. If you can show something like this and make it too good for them to say no, then why would they not purchase things? Exceptional experience. So a good thing as well is showing customer service. So if people are coming to you with questions, you could be showing like common questions that people are asking, and you want to exceed their expectations. So when they get the product, they want to be super hyped of it, and then that's going to lead to further purchases and growth and vision for your brand. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. The e-commerce space has shifted massively, but brands are adapting and brands are coming wise to this. So by implementing the strategies mentioned for the welcome flow, you're going to transform your visitors into loyal customers. Again, this does go into client retention and retaining purchases to keep coming back to your brand. The whole cycle of the welcome flow is to capture. So this is from your paid audience, paid traffic, nurture them, so educate them, so build trust on your content and product, and then finally convert them. This is the 3 points you want to be aiming for with your welcome flow. So don't be like every other brand letting ad costs ruin their business. Start building something that you're actually going to get value from, and you can start that with your welcome flow. Plug the leak that is draining your business. If you want some help with that, please use the link below and book yourself a free audit. We are also running a deal right now, so we are going to guarantee you a minimum of 75k in the next 90 days. If we don't do that, we are going to work for free. That is how confident we are in the results we provide. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you found something valuable.